And it's time for sanding sealer. That's what I use. That's the gun I shoot it out of. Both of those fans are gone, the window's open, the garage is open, I'm on the respirator, and here's the table. I've already done the legs, we'll shoot the top. There we go, that's our first coat of sanding sealer. And the sanding sealer's on. We'll give it about 30 minutes to dry. It normally dries quicker than that. It's a high solids sealer. It seals the wood, does a little pore filling, and then it's designed to stand off, and when you hit it with some sandpaper, it dusts right up and gives a good substrate for your first coat of lacquer. So we'll give this a half hour to dry or so. I'll come back, I'll sand the legs, I'll sand the top, and then we'll shoot our first coat of satin lacquer on it. And once that's on then and dried, we can start playing around, shooting a little color. But you can see just with that sand and sealer, the difference it's made. And we've got already a real nice separation between the walnut and the ash. I think it needs just a little bit of brown, a little bit of amber, and maybe just a touch of red, and it's going to be gorgeous. And you can see the corners have already started to blend in even better than they were. And we'll get those colored in after the lacquer is on. Okay, I turned off the fans and brought it inside so you can see. I'm just going to do some light sanding on it here. And you can see the white powder coming up. And that's the lacquer sanding sealer doing what it's supposed to do. And I'm using a piece of 400 grit sandpaper here. And I'm just going to take off as much of this as I can. It'll come off the dust. It'll leave the wood sealed. Any fibers that raised are being held up by the sealer. And I'm knocking them off with the sandpaper. You can hear it. And you can see it. It's doing its job. So we'll get this sanded off and cleaned off. And I'll shoot the first coat of lacquer on it. I'm not going to film that. It's much the same as it was when I put the sanding sealer on it. And with the fan, two fans going, the compressor and the sprayer, the noise for you is just terrible. So I'm just going to get this sanded off, wiped off, blown off, wiped down, and we'll shoot our first coat of lacquer. Now this first coat of lacquer is just a seal coat that we're going to base our colors off of. So we'll start shooting colors on top of that. But next stop is the lacquer coat. And what I have here is some commercial pigment colors. And what you can see is with an artist brush, I'll take a little bit of this color in any place that we have an issue that I'm not happy with. I can just dab just a touch of this color on there. And that's how I blend in some of the dog chews and some of the other things. And you see we got this color pulled in a little bit closer. This one's pulled in really nice. Of course it's a little shiny, but that's going to go away when we start to top coat it. And this one here is looking real good too. There you go. Yeah, it looks a little dark here, but it actually looks a whole lot better in person. But anyways, that's how I color in. I'm going to start mixing up dye. What I do is I take dye stain, lacquer thinner, and just a touch of lacquer, put it in the gun, and then I spray it almost like a toner. The more I spray, the darker it gets. We're going to shoot for a walnut for the legs and a little bit of walnut and golden oak for the top. I think it'll look real nice. So that'll be the next thing we do. And here's a dye stain I use. It's Mohawk's medium brown walnut. And it's mixed in with lacquer thinner and a little bit of lacquer here. And you can see the color on the stick. It's a fairly dark toner, actually. Doesn't show up very well here. But I think that'll be great for the legs. I wanted to show you a spot that I did with pigments. That might be a little bit better. These are all the dog chews on that leg. And they were white before from the putty, and the touch-ups here just made them go away. Okay, time to spray the legs. And here we go, toning the legs with a little bit of walnut. Take you outside so you can see how the color starts to change. It's getting darker. And use a little bit of artistry and a little bit of judgment. You don't want to lay too much on because it'll start to walk on you. This is mostly lacquer thinner, which will flash off pretty quickly. But if you put too much on, it'll run, and the color will run too. Okay, I'm going to turn you off so I can get this knocked off. It's hard to spray and hold the camera at the same time. Okay, what do you think? Nice walnut color on the leg. I don't see any run. Color's consistent, carries all the way around, looks natural. And there you go. And that's why we keep the color on rather than use wiping stain. Takes a little practice. You gotta know how to fix your mistakes, but much better results. Okay, top's next. And what do you think of the color? There's one of the repaired corners. Walk around the table. Another repaired corner. Another repaired corner. And nice walnut legs. These are taped up, obviously. We'll paint those black when we're done. I'm about 80% happy with the repairs. I haven't got the color quite exactly the way I want it, and I'm afraid if I keep toying with it, I'm just gonna make it worse. You know, we're looking at the intersection of two different pieces of wood here. This piece of wood was darker and more heavily grained. These little spots here are from the puppy chews that they sanded flat, but the little black marks from where the water must have come in didn't come out, and I'm unhappy with that, and I'm wrestling with what to do with that. I may change it, I may just leave it. You know, when you look at the table from far away, it looks beautiful, and you get up close and it still looks okay. You know, you really got to examine this to realize that that's a new corner, and that's the idea. You know, we can't turn back time. We really can't. Not on a damage that was that severe, but I always like to make it perfect, and this isn't, and I'm not 100% happy with it yet. But I'm not done. So anyways, what we'll do before I go to bed tonight is I'll shoot a top coat of lacquer on this whole table, seal in all this color. We'll let it get hard overnight, and then tomorrow we'll come out and take a look at it. If we have to adjust it a little bit, we will. But in general, I think it looks nice. My wife thinks it looks nice, and that's mostly what's important. So we'll top coat it with lacquer, and we're going to bed. And here she is with a coat of lacquer over the color. You got nice, rich walnut legs. A little bit of that walnut comes through at the top because I mixed it with a little bit of golden oak and thinned it out a little bit. And again, the light's starting to fade, so it's not the greatest, but there you go. Not bad. Not bad. The corners even look better under the lacquer. The jarring is gone. The jarring vision of it is gone. So there we are. We'll let it set overnight. Come out tomorrow, see if it needs another coat of